Did you wash your hands?
Yes, I washed my hands. It's sanitized and sprayed it with Lysol and all that stuff. So I'm clean
Okay.
Did
now.
you even use soap before putting those?
Yeah,
No, you hear that pause? Oh my goodness.
no, 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 dude.
I'm dying now. That awkward pause. I'm like,
This is a podcast that we've been. I think we took like a week or a 2 week break from it,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
and within those 2 weeks, a whole lot just happened.
Too
Like,
much. Like a whole bunch of things
like,
happening.
bro, it's like World War III almost happened this year, and then Kobe happened, and then we haven't even fully recovered from that, and then bam, we have this situation, and the gaming community, which holds the biggest convention or gathering of people in the world, they got hit really hard. Because, I mean, like, what do you think about it? Like, even right now, with the way E3 is,
Yep.
like, nobody is, first of all, I mean, nobody was going to go to E3 to begin with, but, this just kind of sealed their fate. What do you think about it?
I mean, to be honest with you, it doesn't come as a surprise to me, considering with all the stuff that's been going on, and with people doing with the whole social distancing thing, with E3 canceling and all that stuff. It's like they're doing their due diligence. If they didn't cancel, it would just show on their side of ignorance to the fact that, oh, we're not gonna pay no mind to this. We just gonna keep doing what we're doing, and that's not the right thing to do at this current time, considering how this coronavirus is spreading like crazy. And as far
Okay.
as people on the other side is like, it just keeps spreading and spreading. More and more people keep getting infected. And it's like, the having everyone in a big section or big
Mm-hmm.
area or an event is not a good idea. And every E3, there's a whole bunch of people in one sitting,
Bro, exactly. Nah,
so
nah.
what's going to happen.
And those Evo tournaments and even all the esports stuff right now, even though esport is kind of in the situation where some of the athletes can participate from home, however that also opens up the floor for different forms of cheating if anybody
Exactly.
wants to.
Yep.
But like that is and I hate that we there's this stereotype that we have to look at a lot of people attending gaming conventions, especially gamers. But
Yep.
when it comes to cleanliness, for some of these conventions, gamers are not the cleanest people in the world.
As far as with the hands.
As far as with the hands, like, I'm just gonna be real, and I know some people will be mad about this, like, but as far as with the hands, like, bro, like these people are gonna they were about to wipe out 90% of the game developers in the world.
Yo, it's amazing, man. Like at times when you be going to some of these gaming tournaments and whatnot, and you compete against people, for some reason when I be playing, some guys be looking at each other's hands, and I'm like, okay, you can look at my hands, but at the same time, my hands is about as clean as the next guy, so and so forth. But when you
Bro,
look close, you're like, damn, yo,
I
his hands is
swear to
not
God,
clean, yo.
you're looking at people's cuticles and stuff. You be like, damn, like, bro, do you ever wash your head? I went
In one
to When I was in high school. I went to one of the gaming conventions in Dallas, and I think that time they were, well, it was actually in Austin, and they were doing the Call of Duty stuff back then. There was this big, creator or YouTuber back then, and he was greeting everybody and all that stuff. Apparently, he thought I was a fan, but if you want to shake hands, it is what it is. He shook
hand.
my hands, and his hands just felt wet somehow.
Sweaty hands.
Yeah, like, bro, I was like, okay, is his hands just sweaty because maybe he's nervous, or maybe that's just how his body is, or
Yeah.
is he coming out of the bathroom? Like, my mind was just like, like, I don't know,
Hey.
man. I don't
Mm.
know. And but the thing though is, like, in regards to conventions and E3, what do you think before this whole coronavirus thing started? What do you think about a lot of these companies pulling out to begin with? because now they have a legitimate excuse. But what about before then?
Before then, there was like a number of companies having beef with some of the employees and whatnot when it comes to certain games being made. I know there were some things going on between Naughty Dog and a former worker there. They was talking about threatening this one person for leaking this and that. And he was like, you know what, I'm not gonna bother going to E3 and all that stuff. So the constant back and forth will have that happen. But at the end of the day, people are just gonna do what they do.
Yeah,
You like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't.
Because to me, when I start, even before like this whole coronavirus outbreak thing, because I just started thinking about it, like,
Yeah.
I mean, Sony is pulling out. You have the Xbox situation, and you have the Nintendo situation. I mean, once a lot of these big companies already pulled out, because let's be honest, a lot of people who go there to see info about their exclusives. And,
Exactly. That's just what it is. Like,
yes, and once the big three console creators, decide that we're not being a part of this, we're gonna have our own separate convention or show instead. E3 became really pointless. Like, what is and then you have Game Awards, which basically is like something that you used to have in E3 as well. So there's no reason being there. Like, if this continues, even after this outbreak, what do you think is going to happen to E3?
I mean, even after the outbreak, the E3 will still thrive because at the end of the day, people want to see what's the next game or the next future games going to be coming out in the near future. Sometimes all it takes is one trailer or two to get that buzz going, to get that flavor going again. But E3 is still going to be E3. Now, at the end of the day, between E3 and Game Awards just comes down to which games is going to win the award when it comes to best fighting, best racing, all that stuff. People gear up for that slightly more because everyone has their games. And people be like, yo, this game is better than this, such and such. Well, let's settle it at Game Awards.
True.
E3 is E3.
True, because now even Game Awards are starting to show trailers and gameplays, and
exactly,
it's become one. And for me personally, I think as far as the show organizers for E3, I think with the way some of the big honchos, like the big heads in the gaming industry, with the way they're all pulling out and creating their own stuff, this might be a time for E3 to start finally giving indie developers their moments in the spotlight, because they don't get that much at E3.
Yeah, they get like a couple seconds to say what they want to say, congratulate X, Y, and Z, and that's it.
Yeah. So now that all the big names are pulling out, like maybe you can finally now recognize it, because with the way things are, E3 might be a indie, show.
Whatever at this point.
Yeah, because I just thought about it, because even years ago, when Warframe first announced itself, it had like only few seconds of time, to showcase themselves. And I think that's one of the things that also led Warframe or DE to decide that, okay, we need to create our own convention, because indie devs and indie games just don't get the spotlight.
Yeah, and that's what I was talking about at the time too. It's like, even with Warframe as it is now, people, once you talk to a certain number of people, they know the name of Warframe.
Yes.
But when you're trying to compare Warframe to other games that has been there since, I want to say probably like, I'll go even at least in the 90s to the early 2000s. Tough road to climb when, as far as competing against those kind of games.
Yep.
And when people trying to talk about Warframe, Call of Duty, all these other games that have been there for the longest time, it's like, as great as Warframe is, it's not going to touch those games.
Yeah, and those companies have, not just the amount of talent, but they also have the amount of money too that a lot of indie studios and devs don't have.
Yeah.
Now Warframe is no longer indie because they are AA now, or they might even be venturing out into AAA because they now have more than 300 and something developers, and they make about 300 million a year or so. So, and they no longer own themselves. But even when they first started, most of the game's promotion relied so much on content creators.
Yeah, because without the content creators, it's like, how people gonna know?
Exactly. Like E3 wasn't showing it off. Even the big YouTubers like Machinima and all those back then before they closed down, and even IGN and GameSpot, those guys just, caught on the Warframe wave because of the views that Warframe get from, whenever a big company or, big individual acknowledges it, it gets a lot of views. Those big companies just picked up on the Warframe stuff not too long ago because they weren't touching Warframe either.
Yeah.
So, and now when Warframe shows up, like, oh my God, but it is, it is one of those crazy things. Now, I want to hear your thoughts on this. I was talking to one of my friends in Division yesterday, and it was like, man, I pray the world doesn't get to a whole Division type of pandemic.
We've been past the pandemic. This is an outbreak. They keep using the word pandemic on all kind of news and stuff. I'm like, no, this is not even a pandemic. This is an outbreak. And I'll go even a step further, and people are like, yo, ain't that a bitch? I was like, I said that too, but I was like, yo, you do know this. Resident Evil 6.
Yep.
That game came out in 2012, and people already know about, it had its own C virus and all that stuff. And I was like, ain't this a bitch? 8 years later, now we have it.
Yep.
They were like, oh,
and it's just so crazy because the C virus, they from the Resident Evil series, the acronym just so to match coronavirus, which is how crazy. Like, I'm telling you, like, a lot of this gaming developers and this writers, they were way ahead of their time, and I will even go as far as to say they had insights to some of the things that were gonna happen in the future that we just didn't know. Look at The Division. The Division is part of the Tom Clancy books. Tom Clancy is a former, United States military, individual. And he had insights to a lot of the things that governments across the world were doing. So when he wrote his books, he was really ahead of his time because those books came out like a long time ago. Look at the what is it called? The Rainbow Siege game that got canceled. But he wrote that book a long time ago. The game is called Rainbow Six Patriots.
Yeah, that was supposed to be the original name of the game, but they changed it to Siege. I remember.
Exactly. And it wasn't like a PvP game and all that kind of stuff. It was a full-fledged campaign game that involved a lot of, suicide bombers and terrorists across the bridge. Yeah. A lot of, people who were, still thinking about 9/11 and situation. People were just like, "Oh no, we're not. We don't want this." So if you really think about it, like like you said, Resident Evil, like, bro, that stuff is happening right now. Like,
happening right now. The only thing about between the game and now is that people don't have stuff coming out of their arms and all of that stuff.
But here is also the thing: we may not have zombies, but you have some guy who has coronavirus who went out there licking items and objects at Walmart, bro.
Not even just there, man. In the subway, there was a dude on the bus did that same thing. I'm watching the video. I'm like, and you wonder how this thing spread. People like him.
Exactly.
Okay, so the first thing I hear is licking and sucking and all these kind of things as soon as I enter the chat. What?
We're talking about how
I'm here licking, sucking.
Got him, man.
Okay, I'm 20 minutes later on my podcast.
Man, I'm telling you, Gunner. By the way, what we're talking about is how the video game world and the video game lore so much connects to what is going on right now in our world. Like, he's talking about the C virus in Resident Evil, and I'm also talking about the Tom Clancy game, The Division, and how the book was written years ago, and some of the remnants of that book is what they used to create this game, and it's basically similar to what is going on right now.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's crazy, but we also, if you had arrived a lot earlier, sooner, you would have heard some of this conversation, because we just finished talking about E3 and what is going on with it. But
okay.
Yeah, we're not gonna go back for that. Next time, you're just gonna have to show up early.
Yeah, I had was
in the toilet, bro.
Yeah, I had was to handle my shit, bro. I mean, like, yeah,
Ass is not the priority now.
I had was to handle some stuff in the toilet, bro. I mean, like, come on, give me a chance.
So Gutta, did you wash your hands?
Yes, I washed my hands. It's sanitized and sprayed it with Lysol and all that stuff. So I'm clean.
Okay.
Did you even use soap before putting those?
Yeah,
No, you hear that pause? Oh my
no, dude.
I'm dying now. That awkward pause. I'm like, wow. See,
he had to think about it. Like, did I use soap?
Yo, y'all setting me up, man.
Oh man!
You have to wash your hands with soap, man, then put the hand sanitizer on.
You know what is so funny though? When this outbreak first started, I always wondered why people are rushing to the store to get toilet paper, and nobody gave a flying F about soap.
Exactly. I'm like, yo, people be in the store, and I'm watching them. A lady had bags upon bags of toilet paper. I said, look, your ass is not the priority. He was like, excuse me. I was like, your ass is not the priority. It's soap, hand sanitizer. Wash them hands. Keep your respiratory good.
This dude Kachi said your ass is not the priority. Wash your hands.
That's not the priority.
Oh my god, man.
People,
I mean, it's a fact.
Come on, man.
Oh man,
it's a fact.
That's true though. That is true. Your ass is not the priority. Because if you wipe your ass and you don't wash your hands, like, what is the point?
Exactly. Like, bro, really?
Yeah, there is no point.
Exactly.
Now, speaking of gaming, because first of all, a lot has been going on. Gaming kind of slowed down this year. Before this, coronavirus stuff, a lot of games were getting delayed in 2020 to begin with, which a lot of us weren't too happy about it. But now it's like it reached a whole new level. Now, good thing, or funny enough, Warframe released Scarlet Spear this week. Has any of you had a chance to play? I know, Kachi, you guys don't get yours till like next year on console.
It'll be at some point. I just got the damn notification. I gotta look to see how that is.
Yeah. So, did anybody get a chance to play it?
Well, I mean, like, I don't play Warframe, so.
Man, where is Fallen? What is Fallen doing?
He's sleeping.
Oh,
I'm looking at.
I heard about it. Is it some sort of quest or something like that?
Yeah, it's
quest. Yeah, it's another quest with another Warframe, and with the weapons. To me, it's like the same stuff.
Yeah, it's supposed to be part 3 as we go into New War.
Okay.
Yeah, so like lore aspects, because I've played it. Lore wise, it's I guess the thing is, it's not something that is brand new. It is something that we already kind of know. We got a whole lot of it, in the sacrifice quest, and even some of the quests and the prologues that came before that. Now, the thing that I would say, you know, pros and cons of it, and this is where we enter into spoiler territory. Do you guys mind anything being spoiled?
It
Oh
don't
yeah,
matter to
yeah,
me.
yeah, man.
Okay, you don't mind. Okay, all right. So here's where we enter into spoiler territory. Personally, I don't like what they did to Ballast. Like Ballast went from this guy who who voiced Warframe, Prime, trailers and stuff. He went from that guy who was involved in the creation of the Tenos, who was involved in the creation of the Warframes, and all that kind of stuff. This Orokin executor, and now you guys have turned it into a sentient lapdog. I'm like, what the hell?
That was the quest that I played last time where I saw him being chained and the guy was like, "Here, Bounce, come over here." He's like,
yeah. So, bro. So I'm like, yo, like I understand what they're trying to do in terms of this stuff, but okay. First of all, you already stripped him of his dignity when you start corrupting him and turning him into a sentient. His bottom half is like a setter right now, half man, half whatever it is. But now is literally a slave. And I was just like,
I think they're probably trying to play with our emotions because if I can remember when Ballas was like really introduced in the prologue when he took the Lotus and stuff like that. Yeah, the prologue. Everyone thought that Ballas is an evil person because when you look back at the history of how he created with the Umbra quests, you can actually see what he did with Umbra and all this stuff. So people started to hate on Ballas, but when you start to look at it, it starts to wonder if Ballas is really a good guy or a bad guy. And now I think they're doing this to make people feel sorry for Ballas because they hated him first, and now they're feeling sorry for him.
To be honest, I don't know if I never hated Ballas, and you know why? The reason for that is mainly because Ballas didn't do anything other than what he was ordered by the Honored Seven. It was basically like the guy who works at Walmart and the supervisor tell him, don't bring out this huge pallet of toilet paper until tomorrow. And everybody got mad at him because he told them, we're out. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because that's what is going on. Like, I never saw him as a bad guy. I just felt like the writing and the story arc got lazy.
Yeah.
And you know what? It showed in the fact that we no longer get Prime trailers and he no longer voices it. You get what I'm saying? Like that shows like the lore aspect of the game really got lazy. Now, art wise and graphic wise, I like some of the interesting designs of the sentient. I'm a huge fan of the Dune books, and that is where Warframe got most of their stuff from. So it is really nice to see some of the concepts being played with. Now, one thing that I really don't like at all is the new render system, because everybody said it's supposed to make things better, right? I selected the option in the launcher and it was just worse on my end. Now, I've always played the game on 4K. I've always had better, resolutions than most, more majority of the community. And I thought it was supposed to get better, but it got blurry when I enabled the new render system. And so I had to literally disable it to get my previous thing. So in terms of bugs and glitches, I think DE will still need to work on that and catch it. Good thing for you guys on console, because you don't have to worry about it till later on. But quick question: have you built your own railjack, Kachi?
Oh, it's already been built, and since with that update that dropped some time ago, I participated in the actual real railjack mission. But the thing is, when I see one person flying this, I'm like, what the hell am I supposed to do? I was just roaming around the ship, like, okay, what the hell am I supposed to do? Then all of a sudden I see a Grineer on the ship. I'm like, the hell you? He shot at me, so I shot at him, and I'm like, oh shit, they can invade this.
Yes, I
In that
personally
one
did.
bit, I'm trying to learn a whole bunch of stuff. Like, the hell?
I personally now I know a lot of people in the community probably don't like PvP, but I think that could really work well in a PvP scenario, like a PvPvE situation. Because like there is a game that is being in development right now, and it's kind of something
Yeah.
similar to it, where you can invade each other's ships and you will go straight for the security system, disable this, disable that, and then
What's the
try to
name of it?
blow up their score. Um, I think I think it's Project something. That's the I think it's Project Genesis. I think that's the name of the game
Project,
right
Mm,
now.
yeah, that's the name.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
Project
yeah,
Genesis.
I participated in their alpha from time to time. So
yeah.
yeah, and I also think the
Um. n-
Rolljack thing could work for a raid too.
well,
It could.
if they bring it back, like as you said, the PvP kind of thing, that'll be basically the same thing like how they had Solar Rails.
Oh my god, those were the days.
Mm,
The Solar
yeah.
Rails was that was basically the same concept,
Man, I would go to school.
which Railjack was supposed to replace Solar Rail.
Bro, I would go to school, and all I'll be thinking about is solar rails and who might be attacking our clan. And then I get home, I realize we've already lost like an entire region. I'm like, good lord.
Crazy, crazy stuff.
But yeah.
Um,
So now, one thing that I want to bring to you guys' attention, I brought it to the attention of another content creator as well, because I had him. I told Life of Rio to go watch the Frozen Bulk podcast with D.E. Scott and Tactical Potato,
Uh,
and I know you've seen it, Kachi. I don't know if Goda has seen it, but D.E. Scott in that interview, he said, one thing he is kind of getting tired of and he doesn't like is the fact that a lot of Warframe creators, YouTubers most especially, whenever new content drops, the first and only thing they do is run straight to the simulacrum without playing the actual game or showing off the game. And he said he doesn't like that, that they just go into this gray room, pop in a whole bunch of enemies, have them stand together, stacked up, and just, blast a whole bunch of numbers through them and say, oh, it does a lot of damage and all that kind of stuff.
yeah, yeah.
um,
What do you
They,
guys think about that? What do you guys think?
oh, here's the thing. The reason why this Simulacrum is there, or the Simulacrum is there, for us to understand what we're actually seeing up close.
Mm-hmm.
He also has to understand this: when people are actually playing the game or playing a certain mission, nobody's gonna be looking at those kind of numbers. Once they shoot their weapons, once they shoot their weapons, when the enemy is dead, Grenier infested, whatever. When they're dead, they're dead. They don't care about all the other numbers, what they're seeing, and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The only time players pay attention to that is when they go further in, like an end game kind of run, where it's status, you start to see this and this go off. But in game, players are not looking for that. They just want to see enemies die, fall, collect their resources, credits, whatever they be dropping, and just keep it moving. In the Simulacrum, you get to see what you're supposed to be seeing up close. This is working, that is working, all of that stuff. It's more technical when you go into the Simulacrum.
yeah.
I see. I see definitely, because to me, I kind of see it on both sides. Like, okay, for him, he said, oh, a lot of new players, whenever they look on YouTube trying to watch a video on Warframe, they see this simulacrum and assume that this is what the game is all about. And at a point in time, they even sent out an email to a lot of content creators like, "Hey, go out there and play the game. Get out of the simulacrum."
I didn't get that.
So, and to me, I felt like one, while the simulacrum is nice and all, it is also their fault that a lot of the creators are in the simulacrum that looks like that, because there's no way to simulate an actual gameplay scenario
Of course.
without without spending several hours trying to do it. Because right now, if a new thing drops, first of all, they give all the players, all the partners free stuff, which also is a part of it. Because if the partners don't get this free stuff, they will have to actually play the game several times before they can review the content. You get what I'm saying?
There you
So
go.
Yeah.
so now, like if you want to see a level 135 or a level 150 heavy gunner and you want to test a weapon on it, you're gonna be the way the game scales. You're gonna be playing for a solid 2-3 hours in mod.
Exactly.
And the thing is, this creators trying to be the first one to upload and put out content, which is like a race of itself. And let's say the update dropped right now, and I'm in mod, like, okay, I'm gonna hit this three, I made this build, I'm going to hit this 3 hour mark so I can get some footage and stuff. But while I'm doing that, 90% of the content creators in the community already uploaded their video with a simulacrum.
Exactly.
And
Because you could put an enemy, whether it's a corrupted bombard or whatever, to a high level when it takes you 3+ hours just to get to that.
exactly, and that's one of the few problems that I see it. I felt like personally they need to create a simulacrum like the way the Captura scene looks. You get what I'm saying? With
Yeah.
multiple rooms and multiple doors that simulates an actual mission. So
Yeah.
that way, even if they're, displaying a simulacrum, it looks like what is going on in the actual game, and new players who came to watch don't think that gray room is the entire game. And guess what they did? They created another gray room.
Yeah.
So I see where a lot of the content creators, are coming from, where they have to do and I have to give you credit for this, Kachi. You're one of the only few that I've actually seen and watched to actually play the game. And
That's
I'm
what it
and,
comes
and
down to
I'm
at the end of the day.
and this is where it might be a little bit of a shot or a jab to a lot of the Warframe creators. And you know what? I really don't care, but a lot of them got lazy because the quality of the content creators we had 3 years ago versus what we have now, especially these new ones, is just, man,
Cheap.
it's like Thanos level of creators to Spider-Man.
Uh,
That's just it's night and day in terms of differences, because back then we actually go into the missions and only few people still do that today. Like this new creators, and it's because they learned from some of the older creators who got lazy, and they'd be like, oh, you know what, jump in the simulacrum, do this, go to mod, do a 20-minute 30-minute mission or even a 1 hour mission, and call it an end game build.
That's not really
Me and Gooder was talking about this not too long
like,
ago.
man. Them
Like,
days, you see, man. Back then, if people want to know of end game builds and stuff, go back and not even just go back at least 2 years, at least 3+ years. You could just watch Life of Rio's videos where he'd be 10, 11 hours in.
thank you.
That's the same
Instantly,
thing me and TA was talking about the other night.
yeah,
Yeah.
like he did 10+ hour runs. I'll be doing like 8+ hours with a couple of my clan mates, and then it was on a random Sunday where it was me, Rio, couple other people. We went straight in on this damn survival in the void. And
Yep.
people were like, yo, still in there? I'm like, yo, we're only 12 hours. Damn, only half of the day is gone. Like,
Bro,
where you at?
Exactly. So when I see these new creators making god builds and all that stuff, and I'm looking at the timer, and you're only 1 hour in, and even for me, I consider myself part of the casual community because I never went past 3 hours.
That's what I'm saying. It's like,
I never went past 3 hours, and I considered myself as casual. So if I considered myself casual at 3 hours, this, so-called end game players who only spent 1 hour is like, damn, like I guess I qualified 3 times to be called end game then.
Yeah, it's like they say
Exactly.
end game bills, but they don't do end game content. They only go 20
Content.
minutes. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
this.
they
Nope.
don't display the end game how they don't display end game content when they're actually displaying their end game build.
Yeah,
Nah,
Doesn't make
because they
sense.
know it takes them a while to get to that point.
exactly.
So they rather just go into Simulacrum, pull up level 160s, and they always use this excuse as, oh, majority of the community aren't even gonna reach like level 100, so doing it at level 160 is gonna be way more proof that it's end game worthy,
Bro.
you know. And
And,
I'm
and,
like, yo, no, that's not how it works, you
How
know.
it works.
and you know, it's so crazy because you will never, ever, 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 in an actual gameplay scenario, see heavy gunners just form a line, clump up like that, be restricted in a small space, and you won't see all this, you know, this nullifiers just popping up and all those like, bro, you will see a whole lot of stuff. Like, they move in a, like, as stupid as the enemy AI is in Warframe, they're not that stupid to just clump up and let you just shed bullets in there. Like, you have the like,
No,
you know, like Life of Real pointed out in his latest video, you have the ancients who are constantly healing them and trying to zap you. You get what I'm saying? You have debuffs
yeah,
going on and all that kind of stuff. So the simulacrum, as cool as it may be to, you know, to just check out a weapon, it's not, you know,
yeah.
a lot of creators just got lazy. It just got lazy because, you know, that, and that's one thing
They
that I miss about, you know, covering Warframe. Graphically, I always show the game in a great light on all my videos. Even when I criticize the game, you will still get that good quality.
yeah,
You will still get that good quality, and you know,
Oh yeah.
a lot of people, yeah, you know what, people don't realize what they have till they lose it. And to me, I believe that the game is more than just fashion, is more than just test and building the simulacrum or meme videos or just jokes. You have the lore aspect too, and you know, I hate to toot my own horn and all that kind of stuff, but that's basically what I created on my channel back in the day. But
yeah.
Speaking
You're all about
of
the
those
lore and stuff like that.
things,
yeah, so
yeah. Mhm.
I see where Scott is coming from. You know, I see where some creators are also coming from, but at the end of the day, you know, Scott and all the other developers are the ones who have the power to change that.
I mean, it's an easy change. I mean, if you don't want people in the simulacrum and you want them to play the game, get rid of the simulacrum.
True.
Just do that. It's not a hard decision. It's
But
your game.
but here's the thing
Get
though.
rid of it.
Here's the thing though. If you listen to that podcast, he said at a point in time they talked about just deleting the simulacrum period. Oh, like, man, it
See?
got to that point.
And like, okay, they could have done it, but they decide, nah, let's leave it there. So if it's there, people go simple. If you want it gone, get rid of it. It's an easy thing. I bet you they know what it takes to get rid of it. Just press a couple buttons here, delete, send
Delete,
it across. Bam, there it is.
delete the entire asset and bam.
Exactly, and there it is. Oh, and then oh, this is going into search. Oh, you're gonna get the update within a couple days. Oh yeah, this is the Warframe build notes and stuff. And oh yeah, Simulacrum not there anymore.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. Yeah. Now you have to actually play the game, you know, to actually. And you know what? Here's also another thing that if DE is going to remove the simulacrum, this is one thing they should do, because right now we have that type of feature in Division 2. We have the type of feature in Anthem. You have the type of feature in Borderlands, and a lot of games have that type of feature as well. And even in Destiny 2, if you wanted high level difficult enemies, you know where to go to get them really quick in a split second.
Yeah.
In Warframe, you don't have a world difficulty switch where you can choose, you know, to play on, you know, like in Division 2, for example, you know, you have the normal, you have the hard, you have the challenging, and then you have heroic, and then in some situations, which is higher than heroic, you have legendary missions. So for if you got a new weapon that just came out and you made a build and you want to showcase it and you want to test it out, all you have to do is to just change the world difficulty to heroic, or go
Yeah,
into a legendary
it's
mission.
but that's basically the same like Anthem. Like Anthem, if you want to really test your
Exactly.
build, you just go on GM3, which is the hardest difficulty.
Thank
You
you.
know. But
So
with Warframe, there isn't any of that. So you basically have to wait until the enemies scale up, which
exactly.
can take
Yeah,
8 hours.
it's the
So
same in Warframe. It's just that in for Warframe, you just have there's only like 3 or 4 planets off the top of my head. But the problem is that people don't go to those planets because half of the community in Warframe want to farm
Yep.
something. People are not going to go to Neptune or Pluto. People Hydron because again, defense enemies already hard right there. It'll go up
well,
at a good rate, not a fast rate. So people will flock to
yeah,
Hydron, and of course, last but not least, you have the Void go to Mott, and
Yeah.
there you go.
yeah,
The whole Kuva thing too. The whole Kuva, not the Kuva. That crap that dropped for the leeches, man. Oh,
oh yeah,
damn
yeah,
it!
yeah. Yeah, I know the one you're talking about. Yeah.
For those damn relics, you could do that Requiem Survival. Yeah, those enemies scale
Yep.
hella quick.
Yep.
That's
And
February 5 right there.
so it comes down to people just not willing to spend a couple of minutes or hours to to reach where they can actually capture a footage that represents what they're talking about. Like Gutta said earlier, the footage has to match what the video is about. Like
And on
yeah,
top of that, people are competing to whoever could get out the video first.
yes,
exactly, yeah,
that
Comes
is
down,
yeah
go to the
that
Simulacrum, this and this for 2 minutes, and then put that out there. As long as it's out there first, like okay, good.
yeah,
yeah,
and that's one of the biggest problems because I remember even when I was, you know, when I used to like make Warframe videos like that, that was one of the biggest concerns that I always had too. Because like okay, like if you're fighting for audience, and fighting for views and all that kind of stuff, you have a situation where okay, the new update dropped, all the partners got their free items. I'm still like okay, at first I always wanted to just format the item, as I play regular missions and just enjoy the game. Then I realized okay,
yeah,
like all the creators will run to Hydron, or there's another location on Lua. They would go do that, and bam, they get like let's say like HGP drop a video, and goddamn, this man already got 5 forma in this stuff that just dropped like 3 hours ago.
He's
You,
been playing the game crazy.
yeah, so and I'm just like, okay, now I have to go to Hydron if I want to catch up and release sooner. But then
yeah,
here's also the reality too. You know, I get my stuff. I'm looking for high level content. I don't want to just do simulacrum and stuff. So now I'm doing the Samaris stuff. I forgot the name of it. Um, the Cephalon Samaris thing.
We have to
what
scan a
is it?
target.
The synthesis?
No,
This
no,
is
yeah, not the one where you have to scan this target. The new one where you just mow down waves and then go into wave 2, wave 3, wave 4.
Oh, Sanctuary Onslaught.
that's the
Yes,
same onslaught.
yeah. Okay, so now when we got that one, I was like, okay, that one also ranks up a little bit faster. Let's do that. But then, my video come out like 6 hours after the update went live, and some people already dropped their video an hour or 30 minutes after it went live.
Yeah,
So, and then, like I was talking to a Gutta a few days ago, I have to edit like a 5-minute video for me can take a whole hour and a half to edit. And then, once again, no shot to anybody out there who is a creator, but I pride myself in being able to use the tools that I have. You get what I'm saying?
yeah,
Some of those
Yeah.
people have high level computers and they still put out shitty edits. You
Yep.
get what I'm saying?
No, no
Like it,
transitions, nothing like that.
yeah,
The video starts up, boom.
it
Talk over some gameplay. Gameplay
exactly,
ends, boom.
That's just practically all it is. It's just a matter of them putting the video out while you trying to make your video the best possible with the transitions and all that.
exactly, and you know what?
All they need is some footage,
Mm-hmm.
have the talk over it and whatnot. They don't even need an intro. Just put it out there. Boom, there it is.
Bro, and you know what is so even so crazy is that it would be different if they are streamers. It would be different if they are console player because I've played on console before and I know like like with you Kachi transitioning like transferring data from console to YouTube.
Yeah.
That thing is a hell in its
PS.
own. Okay,
Yeah, PS4 it's
I do
harder
a
than
stream
on
at the same
Xbox.
time.
exactly.
Yeah, that's why I rather do a stream because once I'm streaming, I'm actually doing it at the same time. Once I'm done with the stream, it's already on my channel as it is. So I'm getting the best of both worlds.
Exactly. So when it comes to streaming, that is different. But I'm talking about like people who have, they have 100K subscribers or more than 50K. They make a lot of views. They generate enough to get, good hardware. But when you look at their videos, it's just like, all right, I'm just going to make this thing and just put it out there. And, of course, I could look at it as, the community doesn't take that much to impress them. They will take shitty content over anything any day.
Yeah,
You know,
they'll be in the comments. Great video, bro. Love the content. Love the quality, bro. The quality.
Now,
Like,
some will
what?
just say great video because, again, as
Yeah.
long as the video is out there, it's out
Yeah.
there. I mean, hell, it could be in
exactly.
Quality.
80,
720p.
80p.
30 frames per second. Yeah, quality.
As long as the video is out there, it's out there. And if yours is not out there, be like, oh, he didn't put out the video yet. But this guy, oh, he has it. So it doesn't matter.
Exactly. Like
They
that.
don't care. They just want the information. Basically, they don't
just
care
want-
about color correction.
this.
They don't look at. They don't look at any of those things.
Hell no.
Yeah, and I sweat over those things. I'd be like, oh man, how can I make this look pretty? I can touch up
Look at
here,
that
touch
video
up
I
there.
did. Look at the
Use
video that I
this.
did a couple years ago where I said, yo, how to go from 0 plat to 100K.
Bro.
That's a long ass video. I didn't know editing whatsoever.
Exactly.
That thing already had over 100K, over 100K views.
And guess what? That took a lot of dedication and actual testing. But here's what's gonna happen. Somebody who is a new creator who probably will have maybe 50 or 60,000 subs will watch your video, replicate that stuff, and make like a 5-minute or 4-minute video.
Exactly. But the thing is that
Yeah.
even though that 5-minute video will look 10 times better than mine, just the fact that mine is just, it's been out there.
Exactly.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
That's all
it's
it
been
is.
out. It's been out there. So, and like what he was saying, I think it pertains mostly to the new creators than it does, the old creators. Because now, once again, I'm not saying every old creator is just a saint when it comes to this situation, but I don't see much old creators just hop into the Simulacrum like that all the time. Some of them still do, but most of them, they actually still play the game. The new creators just know the easy way out. Jump into the Simulacrum, turn that thing all the way up to 135 or whatever it is, put all those heavy gunners, corrupted heavy gunners together, bam, bam, throw some status at them, hit them with some crits, blam, you're done. Video out.
Yeah.
End game build. Like, god damn.
See, even when you look at that, you have to look at some of the OGs. Like, I include myself into that equation, and there's a few others as well. We're partially to blame for that because we're the ones that started that trend. And once they start seeing it while they were a young player themselves, when they excel, play the game as long as when they have the opportunity, they will do the same thing that we've done.
True.
So it's like it's a trickle effect that happens right there. But at the end of the day, you still gotta go out and play the actual game, and you will see the difference because shooting a heavy gunner while he's not moving, like, oh crap, I'm actually doing this to him. When you play the actual game, when they're actually moving, it's harder to hit a moving target, especially where you don't know where they're gonna go. So
True.
your first objective is to shoot him, do as much damage as possible. You're still gonna try and shoot for his head, but only like how you did in the Simulacrum.
Yeah, and one thing I noticed, like, with every gunner, like you said, when they're moving, if an every gunner is moving and you shoot them and you hitting them with all this effect, they can slam into the ground to dust it off, and then regenerate all their armor and all their health. Especially even if they also have an ancient next to them. So clumping them together like that, they're not going to be able to slam into the ground and shake off that status effect at all.
No, yeah.
So it's like, so that 1 second time to kill would probably have ended up being like a 1 minute in an actual scenario.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, because they have to, like, I can understand if they're testing for like weapons. If it's like a weapon and you want to see a weapon, most damage output, and they want to pull up the Simulacrum and test stuff, I could understand that. But say to do like a Warframe legit build to synergize with the weapon and they go into the Simulacrum,
Yeah.
I'd be like, no, you have to go out there where you're in a hectic scenario where there's nullifiers, there's ancients, there's gunners shooting everything at you, there's the corrupted bombards that has the ogress that follows you, it locks onto you, and those grenades follows you around. So you have to now put yourself in those situations and see how efficient your build is to counter those things. And if it doesn't counter those things, then you have to go back to the drawing board and do it all over again.
True.
To make sure, because the idea of an end game build is to make sure you have sustainability in end game level content. If you cannot sustain it, and you cannot create a play style for that Warframe, for the weapon, and for the enemies you're going up against, if you cannot prove that, then it's not endgame worthy. It's junk. Throw it in the garbage. Start over.
Exactly.
And that's why when I used to do like little Warframe content, I never did Warframe builds or anything like that, because I just never, because the community on YouTube, it's so saturated with so much, and then people have their opinions.
Yeah.
Right. And the thing is, and
it's still the same.
Yeah, and with the opinion, some people would say, "Oh, let me just make some examples. Oh, Tactical Potato did this. I think it's better." And then iFlame will come up with something, and then Grind Hard Squad will come up with something, and then people will be like, "Oh, this build isn't working for me," and stuff like that. It's not because it isn't working for you. It's because they make builds to suit their playstyle. Everyone has a different playstyle. Some people rush, some people are aggressive, some people are sweaty, and some people are more laid back. And that's why I appreciate content creators that actually teach people how to build.
Yeah.
Not just show them a build and show them, oh well, this is that, and you use this, you use that, boom, you're good. No, teach them how to build, and then let them implement their own playstyle to it, and let them make their own god build.
I'll give you an insight. I'll give you an insight to something going on, like in regards to that, even within the Division 2 community right now. So I remembered, like when I first made, I think it was a tanky build or something like that in there, and I also saw another guy who made a damage build, and in my tanky build, of course, people threw their suggestions. If you use this, if you use that. Tanky builds videos are a little bit, it's few of them out there, but you don't get that much stuff, like that much, criticism. But when it comes to you making damage builds, that's where everybody comes out of the woodworks. And this guy made a legitimate damage build, with explanations and all that kind of stuff. But the thing is, he got so much criticism on it because some other Division 2 YouTubers were making build videos with powerful numbers. And I decided to follow those big YouTubers to make my build like in the game exactly like theirs, and it just didn't work out for me. And I was like, okay,
Yeah.
That's what it is.
like this the damage is no okay. I understand RNG in different roles, but goddamn, like, and then all of a sudden, a week or so ago, it came out that people were using damage glitch. I was like, oh, there we go,
See?
Yeah,
there
yeah,
we go,
yeah.
there. I was like, there we
Because
go.
it's not enough. Because it's not enough.
Eh,
If people have to abuse a damage glitch, that means the maximum DPS build is not enough to sustain those
exactly.
high
Exactly.
enemies. So
Yeah.
it's useless at the end of the day. That means
They
that
don't believe in the damage
maybe the developers have to go back and maybe debuff
Yeah. Oh
those
yeah.
high level enemies.
They just did a
And
debuff updates. One came out today. One came out like 2 days ago or so as well. But
yeah.
like it's one of those things where it's like build videos. Oh my god, they are the horrors of everything.
Yeah, it's too much, and everyone thinks that they know it all, and that's my problem.
Hmm.
Everyone thinks that they know what is the best build, and all of these other content creators, they would use clickbait as their weapon. Oh, the best damage build ever. Like the best, and there will
One
be like
hundred
so many videos.
million
Yeah,
DPS.
1 billion DPS. Oh my god. And that's how the title will be. And it's, it is crazy, bro. And I'll be like, dude. And there's always someone in the comment section saying, well, this doesn't work for me, or I've seen better. And then and then there's the other people that makes a long comments saying, well, you should have used this and that, and if you used this with this grenade, then
Kachi,
you would have gotten this. And it's
Kachi,
like, yo,
Kachi.
Yo,
I'm gonna say something, and don't drop any names, okay? Don't drop
but
any names, but in the Warframe community, gotta don't drop any names either. In the Warframe community, you get these videos that come out, right, and people are like, God build Chroma 100k armor.
100K armor. Like, look, man. People actually believe, like, yo, let me see if I can hit that 100K armor. Like, dude, as tanky as Chroma is, he is as strong as how you build him. That's just what it is. And based on how you play and the story, you ain't hitting no 100K armor and all that stuff.
Bro, that corrupted bombard gonna hit you so hard.
Exactly. And then you're gonna be questioning, like, yo, what did I did wrong? I put all the mods in, I did this and this, I watched this video, he said this. Like, no, don't stand there and take it. They do some weird things, like, nah, bro.
Oh,
Go back to the drawing board.
oh my god.
bro.
I ain't want to drop no
There-
names, but
the-
it goes
bro,
like there are
I'm feeling to drop so many names right now, bro.
bro, there are so many
Mm.
videos like that in the Warframe community right now, especially a lot of the new creators. And what? Every time I look on YouTube and my Warframe feed, and I see end game build, I'm like, oh shit, here we go again.
Even like at the time when I did mine, even though for me when I hit, okay, you and when she does her sonar with the resonance,
Mm-hmm.
I did that shit in game while I was doing a survival with my clanmates, and I was like, just see that number. I actually hit over 1 million in damage.
Oh hell yeah! But you have to understand,
And it
Banshee
was like,
is
no,
one of those.
I actually did this in game.
Yeah, Banshee is one of those frames that require some skill. That's why, if you hop into any mission, you will hardly see anyone using her. That's just the reality.
Yeah,
Yeah, but see, the run that
she's
I
weak,
did, it was like a long ass one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about like at least 14 hours in, and this is against Infested now.
Oh yeah,
There's no joke, man, when it comes to when you go further with them, because there was a time that me and my boy Richie, we did that long ass survival. And I was like, yo, we're about to kill this ancient. You know what this bastard did to keep himself alive? Scaling his level.
Yep. Yep.
Even replenished as hell, he just kept upping his level more and more. Instead of level 1500, he went to 2000.
Hell, bro.
I was like,
Exactly.
no, we can't kill this guy. Can he keep leveling himself up?
Exactly. And that's what the real end game is. Too bad you have to like wait several hours to see it. So when I see these end game builds, and the first thing they do is hop into Simulacrum and test it against some, you know, confined space heavy gunner at level 150 or 160, whatever it is. And I'm just like, that's not end game. It really isn't.
No.
Like
It's
gi-
not.
let me see the numbers that says 4 hours at the bottom left of your
Yeah.
video. Let me see that timer reaching 4 hours.
You will see 30 minutes going on 35. I'm in the
Hey.
end game run. You see the enemy. You're like,
Yeah, I'm on
Bro.
MOC survival,
Bro.
which are tier 4 enemies. Tier 4 enemies are the hardest enemies. I'm in 35 minutes in this bitch, very hard enemies, and like, yo,
You
bruh.
want to hear something funny? I rolled into mod like last week with a Banshee Prime, weak armor and everything. And after 20 minutes, people are already leaving at extraction.
DA,
Yeah.
I told you that. I told you. See?
And I'm like, yo, this is literally what Kachi just said. Like, aren't you guys gonna wait? Like,
Yeah, where are you going? Don't leave me out here.
so later on, I decided,
it's-
what? Maybe it's because I have Banshee and they feel like they don't have any more survivability and all that kind of stuff. So I brought in Necros with the augment, with the link and all that kind of stuff. 2 augments on my Necros, one for the the link ability and one for the desecrate ability. Doing all that stuff.
Yeah.
Well, not 2 augments, one, but I used the inverted mods for the health stuff. So I was healing people, running around. 20 minutes in, one guy left. The same guy that left was using Equinox. I'm like, man, you have more survivability than any one of us in here, but it's okay. That guy left. About like 40 something minutes in, this guy, because he kept going down, and I told him, I was like, hey, it don't matter how often you go down, I'll revive you. Just stay in this mission for me, okay? Because I just need you to hop from room to room and just activate it if I can't get to it. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a life support, right?
Yeah, you're using Loki. You have the highest survivability of every frame in the game, okay?
Yeah, just go invisible and that's
Just
it.
go
No one can
invisible.
touch you.
Do the disarm. You know what we're supposed to do.
Yeah. Dude left. We got one more guy in there. He was using Nidus. Higher survivability. You can just, keep on spamming your stuff. And you can defy death multiple times.
Yep.
Yeah.
This guy left 1 hour in. So I'm in there using my Necros all the way up to 2 hours. And the only reason why I left is mainly because the loot just got shittier and shittier as we go in.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's really up.
And that was the problem. That was the only gripe about it. So like in terms of end game high level content, a lot of creators don't have the patience for that.
Because they know they have to go like 3+ hours, 4+ hours in order to get that content. They know.
Mm-hmm. And like you said earlier, it's a race for who's gonna upload first. So it's either I hop into the Simulacrum right now, get all my stuff and put it out there, bam, immediately, or I wait and play 4 hours, which nobody's gonna do. So,
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's one of
That's why it's just better to dedicate your channel to another aspect of whatever game you're playing and do something different that other content creators are not doing.
Variety.
So there's exactly. So you won't be you won't be competing against people that does builds because you don't do builds. So
no.
you'll be doing something else, because
bro,
it's so
like
saturated. There's so many channels that are doing it.
For
already.
me, I just go with any flow. I just do whatever I'm enjoying at that time. If I'm enjoying this game this time, I play it. I showcase it. If I'm enjoying that game, I play it. I showcase it. Some people are like, oh my god, you just left, you left this, you left. I'm like, bruh, I'm not about to force content, which is what a lot of these people do.
Yeah, and recycle content as well,
Yeah,
which
force
a
and
lot of Warframe YouTubers are very,
Kachi, you were
very guilty
talking,
for that.
we were talking about recycling content. You talked about that too, like the last time we talked. You talked
Yeah.
about people recycling content, like, and Gunner,
Yeah,
yeah, you also talked about that too. Like, they would just
I'm
put a
t-
different name on it.
different name and a different. Sometimes they use nearly the same freaking thumbnail, bro.
Yep.
Same, bro. I want to call names, bro. I
Don't
want to
do it.
call
Don't do it. Don't
names.
do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Oh, bro, because these guys, it's like when I see guys doing these things and people are praising them, I'm
Oh,
like, dude, this guy posted the same exact video last month. It's the same exact video, bro. Just a different
bro.
title. And people will be like, yeah, man, great content, man. Yeah,
That,
man.
man. Once they see the video, but as far as with the title, they're like, "Oh snap! This is a new video. It's new."
Like, yo,
Yeah.
like, I've seen that already. And I'd be like, yo, I've seen this before. Like, this is deja vu. I've seen this before. This is the
Bruh.
exact thing. You know, they would go into their builds and change one mod and be like, oh, brand new mod. I mean, no, brand new build. Brand new 2019 build.
Same
And I'd be
build.
like, dude, you changed one mod, bro. You changed one mod.
Man, I'm telling you, end game frames of the decade. I'm like, bruh, Warframe hasn't been out for 9 or 10 years. Like, why y'all having end game builds? Like, why y'all talk about decade? Like, bro, what is wrong with y'all?
Yo.
What is crazy is that people, oh my god, it's just so, it's so crazy because I see it and I'm just like, you know how many chroma god build videos I've seen within the past 1 year alone? It's been more than the ones that I've seen within the past 4, 5, 6, 7 years.
Yeah.
Like,
And you know, one thing I've seen too is that other content creators will actually like copy other things from content creators and put their little own twist to it. Like,
yeah,
for example, again, I'm just for your sake, I'm not gonna call any name, but this is one content creator that does Warframe. He does very high quality videos. You probably might know what I'm talking about, but he does unique, very, very, very high quality Warframe videos. And he did a video with Excalibur about instant deletes, right? Where you blind them and you use the jack attack, and you obviously when you blind them, the enemies are open up for a finisher.
yeah.
And you creep up on them with the jack attack and you slam them, and don't matter like how high level they are, it will instant delete them, like
the
make
finisher
them
damage.
disappear.
The
Yeah,
finish damage and the blast radius of the jacket. I don't know what we're talking
exactly. You know, you put on that augment mod on it, and you also put on finishing touch, which also increased 300%. At the time, it was 300% increased finishing damage, and it will instant delete. Now he is the person that made that up, right? He discovered that, and he was the only Warframe content creator that did that. That was pretty unique, right? And then we have this other guy who saw it, and he did Excalibur for it, of course. Then he made a second video of doing it with Inaros when you use the sand, his first ability, using the same jack attack. Now note that he could have put all of these in one video, but he separated into 4 videos. So one video he did with Excalibur, which was done already.
Oh yeah.
Then he went to Inaros, which with the sand, you throw the sand in your face, and you can get that instant delete. The third video he did with Equinox, you put them to sleep, they open up for a finisher. Boom. The fourth video he did it with Ash. He
Good Lord.
Yeah. Like, bro, I was like, dude, you could have put all of this into a freaking 5-minute video, bro. Why you split it up into 4 different videos? Like, come on, bro. Like, come on. And right now, this guy who copied all of that, he has over 100,000 subscribers, more than the guy who originally invented it, which does higher quality videos than most of the content creators that does
Wow,
Warframe.
that's you see that's the sad reality because
That hurt me, bro.
I do see a lot of people go to old content creators video and bite from it and create their own new video. Like
Yeah,
I've seen it several times, you know, I'm just going to mention his name here. And I think when he man, he probably wouldn't want me to mention it, but you know what? It's in good faith. For example, with Mogamo's videos, we all know Mogamo was like one of the very first Warframe YouTubers out there. He
yeah,
did videos, he covered different things and all that kind of stuff. And one of the problems that happened over the years, like a lot of this, some of this bigger, YouTubers right now around his own subscriber counts. I'm not gonna call names, but they have similar or close to each other in terms of subscriber counts. I've
yeah,
noticed the pattern where these people will go back to his Mogamo, they will go back to Mogamo's old videos, look at the ideas, look at everything, and create an exact replica of it.
yeah. And just bring it into a later
Yeah,
year. Say like for example, Magamu, that video that Magamu made was probably in 2015, and
yeah,
someone would go back to that 2015 video in 2019 and make it over. So for
yeah,
the new players in Warframe, it will seem new, but that isn't new when Magamu did it like 3 or 4 years ago.
exactly. So,
So it isn't fair.
and to me, I'm also bringing it up because, for example, with Kachi is the Plat King. We all know that in the Warframe
Yeah,
community. Okay,
yeah,
I haven't seen anybody else. If they do exist, shit, show me. But anyways, what is gonna happen? Kind of like to go back to one of the things that we kind of touched about earlier. Somebody's gonna see Kachi's old videos about plats and stuff. They're going to
oh,
they're going to make several videos on it, and to add to what you were talking about, Gutta, they will split it into 4, 5, 6 videos. So
yeah.
Catchy, those videos, that video that you were talking about, how you were explaining to people how to make plats and all that stuff. Somebody's gonna pick it up and
Well,
make
No,
let
it.
I came
well,
across people that have actually done that, but here's the one weakness: when they when they go a little bit further, they see that going into the like the notification thing where you see notification arsenal, all of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There, that's not you.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
even with that, it's like, yeah, it's not gonna
because
work. It's not
because
really
I
yours.
because I was just about to say that it has already happened with people making CAD videos, and the same guy who copied the same 4 videos and stuff that made the 4 videos out of one other content creator, he also made a Plaid video titled "How to Earn Free Plaid." I was like, wow.
Yeah, how to make 3 plat. I'm like,
How to make
fine.
free plat.
So
I
be
was like, I got to watch this. I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna give this guy my one view to see the bull crap that he's gonna teach people. And
And
he
you know
was like,
what? And you know what? I don't mind people being inspired by each other, but at least give the credit where the credit is due.
that's my problem.
You get what I'm
That's the thing.
saying?
Give the credit, bro.
Even
Give
if
a
you don't,
reference.
even if you don't mention it in the video, link the person's channel. Even if you don't, if you can't link the channel, mention it in the video. It's just a few
Yeah.
comments away. At first I didn't think about how important that thing is till later years when I was like, okay, you know what, this is actually a very important part of things. Giving credit where credit is due. Like, because a lot of these people always go unnoticed because the bigger creator will get all the credit for it because
Yeah.
they're big. And that's one of the man. Me and Gutter remember when we were talking about that guy who made the anthem video that time,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Yeah. I remember.
Kachi, man, this guy literally came over to our podcasts. One of the
The
episodes we did.
podcast. That was an anthem podcast that
Yeah,
me and you did.
yeah.
Yeah.
He came over there. He lingered across in there for like a couple of minutes or so.
okay.
After the
Yeah.
premiere was over, this dude dropped a new video with every single point that Gutter mentioned, every single point that I mentioned. And I was like, and it comprised it all into 10 points. I'm like, God damn, like,
Damn.
like
Yeah.
it literally was in the live stream, it was in the premiere chat, talking to people in there.
Yeah.
And
That's how we know he was there, because he was in the
yeah,
live chat.
so I'm like, wow, like he
Yeah. A
mentioned
few
it.
hours late. A few hours later, he made a video, a 10-minute video, talking about, because they got to make 10 minutes above
Yeah,
the mark, So he made a 10-minute video
talking
about,
about
oh, here
10
are 10
points.
things about
Yeah,
10. I was like, dude.
and I was like,
And you
we
can
just talked
tell the
about it.
video is rushed. You can tell the video is rushed
Oh
because
yeah.
he just put a Catalysm gameplay in the background. No, I
Mm-hmm.
think it was Catalysm and some Ice Tide gaplay in the
Yeah.
background.
That's what I'm talking about.
And
Just have gameplay
and
in the
he just
background.
talked and he just talked over it so easy. That video literally probably took him like 20 minutes to make. Bro.
And you know what? I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna take credit for all of this stuff, but I noticed that a lot of Warframe podcasts started popping up after we started. But I'm not gonna,
Yeah, we're not gonna go into that.
just
No,
saying.
man, that's all it is. Take it as a compliment. That's all it is.
Yeah, I'll take it as a compliment.
I mean, hell, we start now. Look, somebody else is doing it. So,
yeah, like
yeah, and the thing, and like, man, like, it's sad, bro, because at least we inspire. At least we can. The best we can say is that we inspired people.
Yeah,
we just
that's
all it is, man.
Uh-huh. But yeah, man, I can't.
It's what it is, man. If we wasn't doing anything, this would not have happened
At all.
So we are doing something good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the thing is too is that the funny part about it is that a lot of these content creators are subscribed to other content creators just to lurk and to like dislike a video or to just lurk at the other person's content.
Oh yeah,
I
mean,
then do their own thing. Like,
bro,
I've seen it many times.
This is YouTube. Everything is free real estate. Like somebody can go watch your video right now and be like, gotta made this this cinematic. I gotta steal it. I gotta steal it.
That's why I ain't telling anyone how I did that, bro. I'm telling you, man.
Bro, somebody will come watch Catch stream Rayman Legends and be like, or Resident Evil and be like, This guy is making this gameplay and streaming it in this coronavirus, era and stuff. Guess what? I'm about to go make a video and I'm gonna talk about coronavirus and play Resident Evil in the background. and I'm
Crazy.
telling you, man, that's how it is. But man, I can't believe Fallen is asleep. Man, that man is
he's asleep, man.
Oh my god,
he's asleep. It's like 3. It's after 3 p.m.
It's already after 3, about to be 3:30.
Oh my god,
and he's sleeping in this hot sun, bro. Like in this heated
hot
place.
sun. Shit, ain't no hot sun.
Bro, I'm in the Caribbean here, man. Like, I can look outside. It's sun outside. It's sun outside. It's hot. I'm listening. I'm like, damn, bro. See, 3 o'clock.
No hot. Go to Jamaica at the time we're at its peak, and you're at 110 degrees with a humidity of 100. You can't breathe. Oh God, I need to go inside. Yeah.
Oh man, but yeah, man. I tell you guys, man. I didn't know how we were going to do this because there was just so many things going on. You get what I'm saying? Like in the world of gaming alone. And one thing I would like to point out is that a few years ago, people said that esports is not a sport, but now it's the only sport that people are able to stream. So I guess that's one of the positive notes of whatever this is. And while everybody is bored at home, we do have something to do as gamers.